I think that was one of the defining features of Julia, actually, was her intellectual curiosity and questioning of anything from architecture to philosophy to politics.
She amazed me, actually, because she was really quite good at organising and, you know, having spinning lots of different plates at the same time.
She was kind of multifaceted as a person. Yeah, had a lot of heart.
I mean, Julia was a wonderful tour de force, and she stormed into all of our lives. And she did the same to the premises. She tore into it and made it something really exciting alongside everyone else. Julia gave it real shape, and she gave it such vitality and energy and different directions.
I bought the business out of bankruptcy, and so I was plunged into this at very short notice. Louise, I think, was the managing director at that point. Recommended Julia, and I met her. I don't think there was even an interview. You know, we just sat down and chatted, and I thought, yeah, you'll do, yeah. So Julia took over and just found her own way into the job of being, you know, effectively my right-hand person, and we got to grips with the whole chaos, really, of the studios and rebuilt them up pretty much from scratch. And we worked as a great team of two, running the show between us. She had an interest in environmental issues. I did too, not to the same extent, but I think it kind of started to come together when we built the recording studio here on the site we're in at the moment. And the obvious thing to do was to make it the first solar-powered recording studio in Europe.
Because we built the studio from scratch, we were able to use all recycled materials in building it, so the whole studio has a carbon neutral footprint.
There was an invitation to go and represent the premises to talk about the solar-powered recording studio at a huge convention in Brazil. So that was a huge trip for her, and she loved doing that. And I think she was in her element there. We formed the charity as a kind of sister charity to the Premises Music Education Programme in 1996, and we ran kind of music courses and also activities really for local young people.
Over the years, I mean, some of the things that she came up with I just thought were fabulous. The one I enjoyed working on alongside her the most was called Voice Jams, and that was a summer program and half terms for young kids who wanted to be involved with a sort of a choir, and it was quite a modern thing as well, like almost like a modern urban choir.
Julia pioneered lots of the innovations in this place, and one of them was her idea for a project that was part social, part ecological, which was to have beehives on the roof of the premises.
I think everyone's initial reaction was, oh my God, the studio's going to be full of bees or something, but you know, they're on the roof, they never come down, they just fly off to gardens around you. We often took people up to see the hive. Madness are mostly local lads. They were very supportive. I thought it was a great idea. I set up a CCTV camera to monitor what the bees were doing, whether seemed happy. I don't know how you do that really, but yeah, bees are doing their bee thing.
Julia was the sort of person who treated everyone pretty much the same, and by that I mean she treated them as if they were all very special. So, and people do remember her, you know, in that way. I mean, someone from a band in yesterday, a band called Simandi, who have been coming here for years and years, they specifically said, "Oh, we so miss Julia, you know, we remember her, she was always so friendly and outgoing, always looked after us, made sure everything was right, and she had great attention to detail." Julia wasn't fazed really by anything. Whatever it was needed doing, she would do that, and yeah, we kind of miss all that.
And that was the last time I saw her, was at a premises party, actually. And, you know, that's how I kind of remember her, you know, the kind of reasonably understated queen of the proceedings.
It's been an amazing sort of 15, 20 years of seeing, you know, you come and look at the board of who's in and you're like, wow. That didn't used to happen. Those bands used to rehearse in Terminal and other places. And then, you know, here they are, they're all here now and have been for, you know, many years. And that's down to the organisation, which Julia was a key part of.
The fact that she's been here for 23 years is quite amazing. I think it became her family, actually.
I kind of still feel like she's here in some way, yeah.
Julia wasn't somebody for being front and centre. She liked to be involved in making things happen, but when it came to the big photo at the end of everyone involved, she'd be sort of keeping to the side a little bit, being very modest about her input, but her input would always be, you know, phenomenal, really.
She's a little bird that sings. She's the butterfly that flaps its special pretty fairy wings. She's a fish without a swim bladder, a splish without a splash. She's my love, she's my heart, she's my one. She's a folded paper boat, bobbing on the bobbing sea. She's all the flowers in the garden, and I'm the bumblebee. She's a bounce inside the bunny, she's the cherry